Namaskar friends, I welcome you all to video 10 of week 8. In this video we'll discuss how discourse patterns reveal influence, pressure and multiple authors. In this session, friends will explore a deep and often sensitive aspect of forensic linguistics. Not every document is written freely. Some are written under pressure, some are dictated, some are co-authored behind the scenes, and some are strategically constructed by multiple minds of specific outcomes. These documents look normal on the surface, but their linguistic behavior reveals their concealed origins. Today, we'll learn to detect these invisible influences through discourse analysis. It's very important to understand that what makes a document coerced, dictated or collaborative. Friends, a coerced document is one written under pressure. It can be social, it can be emotional, it can be legal or it can be physical. When you talk about a dictated document, friends, you should understand that a dictated document is one where another person supplies the wording or structure. And the third part, that is collaborative document. Friends, collaborative document is shaped by multiple contributors, each leaving linguistic traces. These processes create hybrid linguistic patterns. Sudden shifts in tone, inconsistent vocabulary, irregular syntactic structures, or unnatural narrative flow. Such patterns are essential in forensic interpretation. Friends, coerced writing is where pressure reshapes language. Coercion affects cognitive clarity. Writers under pressure often display shorter sentences, inconsistent tense usage, hesitation, emotional flattening, indirect expressions, or abrupt narrative shifts. They may avoid naming individuals directly or use vague pronouns like they or someone. A coerced writer tries to reduce personal responsibility while complying with the pressure. Their language becomes guarded and unnatural. On the other hand, if you want to understand about dictated writing, this happens when the words do not belong to the hand that wrote them. Dictated documents show striking mismatches. The handwriting may belong to a person, but the sentence structures belong to another. The vocabulary may exceed the writer's non-linguistic ability. The tone may shift from a conversational to formal in a way inconsistent with the writer's style. Friends, dictated texts often contain unnatural syntactic complexity, unusual collocations, or formal transitions. These are the attributes that appear out of place. Now, when we talk about collaborative writing happens when multiple voices blend and then clash. Friends, collaborative written documents often contain layered linguistic patterns. So just like onion, you can uncover the linguistic patterns when you open or when you read the document layer by layer. Let's understand with one example. The introduction may sound polished and formal, while the conclusion may revert to casual or inconsistent phrasing. Vocabulary density may fluctuate. Sentence rhythm may shift abruptly. Function word patterns may oscillate. These inconsistencies reveal the presence of multiple authors. In legal disputes, identifying these shifts help determine whether a document was genuinely written by the claimed author alone or it was a result of multiple contributions. Friends, discourse analysis examines how ideas flow from one sentence to another. Coarse, dictated, or collaborative writing disrupts this flow. A coarse writer may skip logical steps. A dictated writer may lack internal coherence because they are merely copying spoken text. And on the other hand, a collaborative document may repeat ideas unintentionally. These disruptions signal external influence and helps experts access the authenticity of writing process. Friends, we want to talk about power dynamics in writing today. Power dynamics in writing is something how social pressure shapes linguistic behavior. When a superior influences a subordinate's writing, certain linguistic features emerge, like deference markers, politeness inflation, avoidance of assertive verbs, formal tone, even personal messages. Similarly, when a parent, partner, or authority figure dictates content, the writer's natural style gets suppressed. And this results into hybrid text that reveals who holds the power in the situation. Let's understand a coerced confession letter in form of example. In a notable case, a confession letter seemed authentic physically but contained linguistic red flags. The vocabulary exceeded the writer's education level. The phrasing matched police terminology rather than personal speech. The narrative lacked emotional depth and displayed abrupt jumps. Friends, these patterns indicated coercion or dictation. Linguistic analysis helped reveal that the confession was not written independently by the accused. Now, let's understand another case study or example of a dictated suicide note. A suicide note presented in a domestic dispute showed unnatural emotional detachment and vocabulary inconsistent with the deceased's earlier letters. The tone shifted mid-sentence and several phrases resembled the linguistic habits of another family member. Linguistic and handwriting experts together concluded that the note was likely dictated. Friends, these findings significantly altered the legal interpretation of the case. In the same way, if you understand the concept of a collaborative forgery attempt through an example, it can give you lots of insight into it. A forged corporate memo intended to frame an employee displayed multiple linguistic inconsistencies. The opening paragraph contained high-level corporate jargon, whereas the middle section reverted to informal phrasing, and the closing paragraph contained spelling patterns belonging to a specific employee. Friends, stylometric clustering confirmed at least two contributors. Collaboration, intended as strength, became the document's weakness. Now, when we talk about linguistic clues that reveal document influence, we need to understand that what are the key indicators. Let's discuss some of the key indicators included. It can be like this: sudden tone changes, syntactic inconsistencies, mismatched emotional flow. It can be mixed vocabulary registers. There can be repetition of unusual phrases, or there can be clashing of function words patterns, or there can be abrupt shifts in writing rhythm. Friends, these are some of the key features that show whether a document reflects one mind or many minds, or an external influence shaping the writer's voice. Always remember, influence must not be assumed without convergence of evidence. Yes, we talk about ethical interpretation. Friends, influence, dictation, or coercion must be inferred from a combination of linguistic behavior, physical document analysis, contextual evidence, and witness statements. Linguistic signals guide the investigation. They never stand independently as proof. Ethical forensic practice requires caution, clarity, and transparency when interpreting these kind of patterns. Now, we need to understand that when we find either coercion or any other way of manipulation in form of collaboration, in form of dictation, we can easily find that a document is not just written, it is negotiated, it is compromised. Friends, writing is rarely a solitary act. Sometimes it is shaped by pressure, sometimes by instruction, sometimes by collaboration. A questioned document carries these influence within the structure, and this can help to bring the things to surface easily. I'm sure that you must have enjoyed this session. Friends, we are going to talk about stylometric profiling of long documents and digital narratives, where extended text reveals deeper behavioral patterns and hidden authorship cues. So I'll catch you in the next video. Till then, stay tuned with the course. Thank you.